Hey, this is Bob the Web Builder, and welcome back to my Greenshift Full Site Build series. In the last episode, we have made the testimonials section and the portfolio section more dynamic by using advanced custom fields and Greenshift's Query Looper Builder. In this episode, we are going to make the website responsive, so it looks great on tablet and mobile as well. Let's go!
So first of all, let's see how it looks right now. For that, we right click and then click on inspect. And we can toggle this little icon here to see how it looks on different devices. So you have all of these devices over here. And at the moment, I have selected an iPad mini with a resolution of 1024 by 678. Okay, so let's see how it looks. And what we need to adjust, well, first of all, we need to add some padding to the header. And I guess we need it for every resolution because, yeah, this doesn't look good on a laptop screen as well. So let's start by doing that. So let's go to the header. And we can't do it on the header wrapper because that will make this yellow bar over here not connect to the sites anymore. I can show you over here. So if I get this card padding on the right, you can see that the yellow bar doesn't go all the way to the sides. We don't want that. So we are going to do it on the top header class. And we are going to use a variable, the card padding we already used. We can reuse it over here. And now you see that it is the way I want it. And I also, of course, need it on the main header. So let's select that class. And let's select the same variable over here. Let's save it. Make sure we save our classes as well. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's way better. Okay, so now we can break down to the iPad again, and that looks fine over here. Okay. Now this one, that doesn't look great anymore because all of these are now on 2 lines. Not sure if I want to change it on this breakpoint. This looks fine. This does not look great. I would like to change something over here. And then this looks fine as well. Okay, so we can keep all of this and only adjust a few little things on this breakpoint. So let's do that. So what did we want to adjust? I think I want this to be one column. So we are going over here. We are going to our grid 2 class. And in this case, we have to think about that if we are changing the grid 2 class to break on this breakpoint to one column, then that goes for everything that has a grid 2 class. So we could add another class just for this intro, or we can just do it on the grid 2 class. In this case, I will choose to do it on the grid 2 class. But if you want it to happen on this particular one, but not on every grid 2 class, you could add another class just for this in this case. Anyways, we go over here and first we click on this. So it's the second breakpoint and it doesn't look the same in the builder because this looks smaller than it actually is. But that's okay. We can check it on the front end in a moment. And now we click here on unset, which resets it actually to one column, which is the default. Save this and now look at it at the front end. Okay, that does not seem to work yet. And that's probably because the breakpoint is at 124 right now. So let's make this 125. Let's see if it works then. Yeah, and now it does work. Okay. I actually don't like it over here, so we are going to reset it back to what it was. So it will have a 2-column grid as well here, because that doesn't look great on 1 column either. But we do want to have it unset, of course, below this point. So on the next breakpoint, which is a tablet in this stance, we want to have it at 1. But again, we need to adjust this to 679 to make that happen. And this looks great. But now we already see the next problem, which is the menu. It does not fit anymore in this resolution, so we will have to adjust that. And for that, we are going to the header template. And we are going to set some things here. And to start with, we are going to hide this search and nav, because we are building a custom drop-down nav for mobile. So let's hide this. Let's go over here. And let's say we want to hide it on these 2 smallest resolutions. Now it should be gone here, but still be here. So now that we have removed the main navigation from tablet, portrait and mobile, we have to add a mobile menu to replace it. So for that, we are going to add a div with an SVG in it. And of course, this needs to be in our header. And we're going to call this main menu, or mobile menu actually. All right. And for the trigger, we are going to the icon library, and we are going to find the hamburger menu in here. So these are the built-in icons from Greenshift. As you can see, they work fine. Actually, we want this to be in the header main content, so it's next to the logo. Okay. And now let's add a trigger to this button, so it will open up the pop-up. And for that, we actually might want to put it on here, so we can actually give it a button HTML tag, which will make it more accessible as well. So let's do it like that. All right. Let's make it button type is just button. And then we go to interaction layers and add a new interaction layer. And the interaction layer always works with a trigger and an action. And we have a lot of choices for the trigger. For example, you can do hover effects with this one. You can do actions when an element enters or leaves the viewport. You can do scroll effects. You can do unload and exit intent effect, so you can make an exit intent pop-up with this one. But for this case, we are just going to use the onClick. And for the action, you also have a lot of options over here. For example, you can do an animation, you can set or remove a class or an attribute. You can even set or remove cookies over here. You can show or hide an element, of course. You can do some things with sliders. And you have a lot of actions over here as well. But the one we need in this case is a sliding panel. We're going to create a local panel. And let's go to that panel and let's remove the default styling from that. Okay. Now the first thing we want to do is copy the nav we have over here. And we want to put it in here. For that, we need to add a paragraph so we can paste it. So this is the nav. Let's go to the UL then. because, of course, on mobile, we want this to be a column instead of a row. So let's go to the layout and make sure you have this selected, this breakpoint. Otherwise, it will be a row on mobile or on desktop as well. And we just want that on mobile. And we select direction like this column. And then it is below each other. So let's save this. Let's save the class. And let's look how this looks on the front end. So on the front end, it looks like this. Let's click on it. Well, it does seem to work at least, but it doesn't look great because it has no background at all. Let's go back to the template, styling panel, and let's add at least a light background. Let's make it light gray in this case. Let's see how that looks. Save it over here. Yeah, that is way, way better. Okay, great. That looks fine now. Let's see how it looks on mobile. For example, on this one. Yeah, that looks fine too. But now you see another problem, and that is, of course, this top header. That doesn't look good anymore on this resolution. So we need to replace it, but I still want people to see my email address. So we're going to put the email address in this menu as well. It's in the top header, of course. Let's copy this one and let's just paste it in our panel, which we have over here. So this is the mobile menu panel. Let's add after and let's paste it in here. All right. And let's see how this looks on the front end. Because the SVG is on another class, we need to style it over here. Okay, let's just do some local styling now. Let's set the size to like 1 rem. That should do it. And let's see how it looks now. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, perfect. Not sure if I want my slogan to be removed as well. Let's just, first of all, hide the email address. We can do it over here. Let's hide it on these two breakpoints. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so we can keep the slogan, but we will need to move this below. So we can easily do that, of course. To the main header logo. Here it has a margin of minus 28 pixels. So let's make it 0 on this resolution. Save that. And now it is below. And it should be still the way it was over here. Now we can still keep it minus 28 on this resolution actually, and only set it to 0 on mobile. That looks way better. So we do have to style that button, of course. Let's just do that locally at this time. So let's go to the button and we can use the local styles over here. So let's make the background just white or just remove it at all. You can just do like this and then it has a transparent background. And let's remove the border as well. So let's make it 0 pixels. And then we need the size like 1 rem maybe. We should actually not do it like this. We should actually use one of our font sizes. Let's choose font size medium for the height as well. Okay, that doesn't do what I need it to do. That does not adjust the size of the SVG. So we're going to add that as well to the SVG. Font size M and font size M. Ooh, that is way too small. Let's see if we have some other thing that we can use for this, like a font size XL maybe. We have font size L as our largest one. That's also way too small. Now we are not going to use one of our presets. Then we are just going to see how it looks like this 3 REM and 3 REM in height. Is that better? Yeah, it's a bit too big now. Let's make it 2 then. Yeah, 2 looks quite fine. Okay. Then we want this to have the same size. So it's going to have 2 REMs and 2 REM here. And it needs some spacing. And we can just use our card padding for that. So it needs some spacing, at least at the right and the top. Okay. So let's see how it looks now. Yeah, this looks fine and this works fine as well. Okay, so that's for the mobile menu. Of course, you can add whatever you want in here, but let's keep it at this for now. This is how it looks on the phone. So now the email address is gone here and it's replaced in here. Haha, but now we see another problem because the button isn't hidden yet on desktop and is huge as well. So let's go to the desktop view. No idea why this is so big. Doesn't seem to have a particularly big size, but it doesn't really matter because we want to hide this anyway on desktop and normal tablets. Okay. So now it's gone here. Should be gone here and it should be visible here. So now that we're here, let's see if there's anything we want to change on this breakpoint. So the portfolio looks fine. We can leave that to columns. This looks okay as well. This doesn't look very good, so I want to change that. Yeah, and this doesn't look good either, but this is core WordPress, so there's not much we can do about that without, yeah, we could, of course, it was already wrapped in a block class, so we could uh, adjust this via Greenshift, but we're not going to bother with that at the moment, but we are going to change this one. So let's go to the builder again. We can now close off the header, that's done. And we can go to our testimonials. So go to the query loop builder. And here you see that at this breakpoint, it has 2 columns and we want to make it 1 column. Let's see how that looks on the front end. Yeah, that's way, way better. Okay, so this looks good now on this breakpoint as well. Let's go a breakpoint higher to see how it looks there. Yeah, I still don't like this, but as we already tried it on one column, that didn't look great either, so we're not going to do that. This is fine. Maybe we should make the portfolio too. Let's see how that looks. Let's go to the portfolio, query loop builder, select this breakpoint, let's set it to 2. Let's see how that looks on the front end. Yeah, I think that's better. It's a little more spacious. Okay, cool. So this doesn't look great either, but I don't think I want this to be 1 column yet. I do want this to be above this text, so let's go to the About section. And let's see how this is built. So this is a 2-column grid. You want to keep that. This is the first column, this is the second column. And let's see how this is built. Okay, so this is now a grid. All right. Let's see if we can just do it like that and like this. So it's below each other. It looks better. See how that looks on the front end. Yeah, that is way better. So we keep it like this. Great. Testimonials, great as is. Okay. So that looks fine as well. Now the only breakpoint we have to check. Let's see, by the way, how this looks now. Yeah, this is cool as well. Okay. So the only breakpoint we still have to check is mobile. And that looks okay for the most part. Although there is some work to do over here with the buttons. They have to stack below each other. So let's go to the top. Set the buttons wrapper. And let's say we want just on mobile to stack them under each other. Right. That's better. Of course, we need a gap between those. We only set a column gap. We did not set a row gap yet. So let's make that space out as well. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, and that looks absolutely fine. So let's give it like that. That's great. Let's see, this one should have some spacing, which is my CTA. And I can just set some spacing here on the CTA wrapper. It should actually, it just has spacing on the sides or on the top and bottom, and it doesn't have anything on the sides. So let's set some spacing cells here as well, on the left and right. And that should be fine.
So now the website is easy to maintain with dynamic content and it's fully responsive, so it looks great on tablet and mobile as well. So that's it for now for the Greenshift Full Site Build series. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe so you don't miss anything and see you in the next video.